Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, cousin abandoned my niece at my house while I was camping. Lady yells at me for taking her plates, then tries to get free pizza for life. My mom stole my life from me, but now I'm stronger than ever. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Cousin abandoned my niece at my house while I was camping. Over the week, my husband and I went on a camping trip before summer season with its glorious warm weather was officially over. We weren't at home and had no cell reception where we were. We left Thursday, September 7th and returned on Monday, September 11th. While we were away, my cousin left my niece still strapped to her car seat outside my house door on Friday, September 8th and sent me some text messages. Remember, I had no cell reception where I was camping. I would never have known while I was gone. I saw the missed messages after I returned home. It wasn't a request to ask if I can help her. It was simply a message notifying me that she left my niece in front of my door along with a bag with her stuff for the weekend. She did not ask me beforehand if I could help her babysit. There was no possible way for me to know. Even if I knew, I would have still declined unless it was a medical emergency in the family and they had no other choice. I live in a rural area where everyone is on 30-acre plots of land, so no one knew my niece was there. I had no clue. The neighbors had no clue. My niece was literally abandoned in front of my door until Saturday noon when my parents came by to drop off my parcels that were delivered to their house. That's when they saw my niece. My parents called my aunt and had her come pick her up. I can only assume that my parents, my aunt and my grandmother scolded my cousin for leaving my niece at my door. When I got home, all I saw was the initial text message telling me that my niece was dropped off at my place. Then a string of very rude text messages and voice messages from my cousin calling me irresponsible for leaving my niece outside and endangering her. Because what if the coyotes in my area attacked the helpless infant? I'm just so frustrated. Report those parents. That's nuts. I 100% agree. Talk with your parents about if anyone in the family can take the kid, because foster care is iffy. A lot of the time family can still be a good route for upbringing. Then call CPS showing the texts and help make arrangements. Hello, Child Protective Services? I'd like to report an incident of ranked child endangerment. It would be a favor to your niece to take the evidence you have and give it to the police. What they did in the first place was utterly outrageous. Then, to dare to blame you for not being home. These people are unfit to be parents. They have already endangered their child, putting her at risk of grave injury or death, and had the nerve to deny responsibility. The sooner that poor kid can be rescued from them, the better. That child could have died. What if your parents hadn't come by? Report the kid's parents. What? They got scolded? I hope you got the police involved for that poor little baby. I'm so angry that frustrated was your emotion. Livid, furious, raging, all better than the mild emotion for a literal life and death situation. Not to mention the poor little thing crying, hungry, thirsty and unable to even stretch out or change position. Not to mention trying to get mom or dad or anyone to come to their cries. I can't even tonight. That's enough internet for a while. The parents are lucky the baby is alive. This is maybe 48 hours alone in the heat/elements with no food and no water. This is so horrible. The mom/parents should be in jail. CPS should have been called immediately. I can't believe they gave the niece back and didn't involve authorities. She was left overnight. That sickens me. Poor child. The baby was outside all night? If you don't immediately call CPS and report this, you are almost as bad as the mother. For God's sake, the child could have died. Do your duty as a decent human and report this immediately. Lady yells at me for taking her plates, then tries to get free pizza for life. This was at the beginning of 2023. I, 14M, was a busser for a pizza buffet. At the buffet, if I saw empty plates or plates with trash, or if someone leaves for 5 minutes, I take them and put them at the bussing cart. Okay, now that you know that, on with the story. It was a Friday, which meant it was kinda busy. I saw this one lady walk in and didn't think anything of it. She didn't have the haircut or sunglasses, she looked nice. She got 6 plates of food and ate a few and then just left. She was gone for a good 5 to 8 minutes, so I just thought she left. I then got her plates and wiped the table down as I do. Then she came back. The following conversation began. EF, WTF do you think you're doing? Me, my job. EF, that's my table. Me, oh, I'm extremely sorry about this. EF, you are such a dumb. Me, okay, at this point my anxiety starts rising and I just leave. I then saw her go to one of the managers / my dad and said, from what I could kinda hear, EF, he just took my plates when I was outside for a minute. D, who are you talking about? EF, points at me. D, I see you're welcome to get your pizza back. EF, I want free pizza for life. D, we can't do that, ma'am. She didn't know my dad was a manager and thought he was just an employee who was older than me. EF, of course you can. I will call the manager and get you fired. D, do it then. At this point it got busy, so all the managers were working. She then gets on her phone and pretends to call someone. No one's phone rings. She then proceeds to have a fake call. EF, hey, it's me. Your employees are being really rude, the stupid chi. My dad snapped. D, lady, do not about my son like that. I am a manager and so are they, points to the other 3 managers. EF, I am suing you. I then went to the bathroom and just sat. My anxiety was at an all-time high at that point. I was there for about 15 minutes. I then clocked out 20 minutes before I left, so I didn't get paid for doing nothing. Unfortunately, the pizza place closed due to I'm actually not sure why, but it got shut down. That lady never sued, so that went nowhere. That's pretty much it. I have 2 other stories from that place, but I'll post them another time. Thanks for reading. That's so weird. It's not like you tossed out family heirlooms or diamonds or something, you tossed out old food. I wonder what she thought her case would be, since it was half-eaten pizza. At a pizza buffet. She could get more. The place probably went out of business because greedy people like her took 6 plates of food right out of the gates on the first trip through the buffet. Yeah, what normal person takes 6 plates of pizza? That's not something to be proud of. She was probably binging and purging. Wrong subreddit. She's not a parent. My mom stole my life from me, but now I'm stronger than ever. I was 19 and pretty sheltered from the harsh reality of life. We weren't wealthy, but weren't poor either. I have a twin, a little brother and a little sister. It all started in 2021, halfway through my college year, and pretty happy. Growing up, I looked at my mom and dad as if they were my superheroes, but the further into 2021 we got, the more that changed. My mom and dad had broke up early in the year, which I assumed was the catalyst for all this. My dad became homeless and my mom turned to drugs, but I didn't know that at the time. Although they had broken up, my dad still crashed at the house every few nights to see all of us, which was nice because it didn't feel right not having him around. One night when he was staying around, he found a bag of powder in the bathroom and went through to speak to my mom because he was concerned it was one of his kids taking it. The blame was placed on me, which I defended myself convincingly as I had an ensuite bathroom which I exclusively used. Then the blame was passed to my twin, which my dad then butted in and blamed her as he felt she would just keep passing the blame round everyone. She beat him pillar to post. After that, my dad never entered the house, whether out of shame of getting beat up by his ex-wife or guilt of causing her to turn to drugs, I don't know. All I know is that I no longer felt safe in the house. My twin didn't either, as a few days later he moved in with my gran. During the next few weeks my mom was in the house less and less, preferring to go out than stay in and look after her own children. As the oldest, I felt it was my responsibility to look after my siblings, which I did. To make sure they got everything they needed for school, I had to drop out of college and get a job to pay the bills, feed and clothe my siblings. After doing this for a few months, my mom showed back up at the door while I was at work. My sister was off school ill and let her in. She told her that it was me that told her to leave and locked her out the house and was on drugs. Fed her lies about myself, which inevitably turned her against me. When I got home, I was surprised that my mom was in and took her to the kitchen to demand where she had been. My sister attacked me while my mom watched. At that moment I understood why my dad didn't hit back. He loved her. I loved my sister and didn't want to cause her harm, even though I was feeling her fists thump across my jaw. Once she stopped, I was told to leave. After everything I had done to try protect my little brother and sister from living a horrible life, they had been corrupted by my own mother against me. I slept under bridges for weeks, until she called me out the blue and said she had to talk to me. I approached her cautiously, sat down and asked her why after all this time she wanted to talk. She told that she was struggling to pay bills, so I should take the money out of my trust fund and give it to her. I was angry. I took off out of the house, and that was the last I heard from her. From then I got my own flat, a great paying job and a dog that has become my best friend. Still working on the great girlfriend part. Sorry if this is against the rules or anything, I just wanted to share my story. If anyone is going through something similar, reach out and I'll try help out then best I can. This isn't the whole story. If you want more context for some stuff, we'll be more than happy to add more. I just couldn't be bothered writing more tbh. I just want to add that my dad is a quintessential part of my life. If it wasn't for him, I firmly believe I wouldn't be here. He helped me a lot when I was homeless. Does your sister talk to you? We send each other the odd "hi, how are you" kind of messages now. It's been around 2 years since all that had happened, but our relationship will never be the same. How did your siblings turn out? I'm still very close to my twin brother. He and my dad both saved my life. I don't talk to my little brother and sister often, and when we do, it's just basic pleasantries. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.